This is the smell of a warm 3-day-old egg salad sandwich in a wimpy trash bag.
Wimpy, wimpy, wimpy!
Blech! And this is the smell of that same sandwich in a hefty, ultra-strong trash bag with new Fabuloso lemon scent.
Hefty, hefty, hefty!
Smell the difference? When life gives you stinky, get Hefty Ultra Strong with new Fabuloso lemon scent. It smells like clean, freshly picked lemons. So no matter what's inside your trash, you can stop the stink and smell the lemon.
Support for this podcast and the following message come from Corient. Corient provides wealth management services centered around you. They focus on exceeding your expectations and simplifying your life. Corient has been helping high achievers just like you enjoy their lives more fully, preserve their wealth, and provide for the people, causes, and communities they care about. As one of the largest integrated fee-only registered investment advisors in the U.S., Corient has deeply experienced teams in 23 strategic locations. Corient has extensive knowledge spanning the full spectrum of planning, investing, lending, and money management disciplines. Leverage Corient's exclusive network of experts to craft custom solutions designed to help you reach your financial goals, no matter how complex they may be. Real wealth requires real solutions. For more information, connect with a wealth advisor today at Corient.com. That's Corient.com. Corient.com.
Hi there, and welcome to Comedy Album Book Club, the podcast where we listen to a comedy album and then talk about it. I'm your host, Jason DeLine, an actor and comedy enthusiast, and in addition to the album discussions, I, along with my producer Matt Ardill, also interview members of the comedy community. Today's interview is part of our Juno series. The Juno Awards are Canada's answer to the Grammys, an annual recognition of musical artists that started in 1970. 2019 is the second year to present awards for Best Comedy Album after a 33-year hiatus for the category. Today I talked to Juno-nominated comedian Dave Merheje about his album, Good Friend, Bad Grammar.
Hello.
Hey, is this Dave?
This is Dave, correct.
Hey, Dave, it's Jason DeLine calling with Comedy Album Book Club. How you doing?
How are you, Jason?
Good, man, good. So you're in LA right now, yeah?
Yeah, I'm just visiting for a few weeks.
Okay, yeah, you live in New York now?
Correct, yeah. I've been there for since 2017 of May.
Okay, cool. And are you liking it?
I do like it. It's a fun city. The comedy's fun there. I have some close friends that live there, so that always helps out.
Yeah, totally. It must be weird, though, when you leave a community like Toronto that's so small, right? And you know a lot of people and stuff like that.
Yeah, but I've been I lived in LA for 2 years, so I left Toronto around, I think, 2015, 16. So got a little bit used to that for the last 4 years, or 5,
yeah.
I can't remember.
Fair enough. Do you feel like the more you kind of travel around that it's sort of all the same, or do you feel like there's a different flavor in Toronto, New York, LA, Detroit?
Every city probably has its unique vibe to it. I assume. Well, not assume, but I feel it. Like you'll go to Detroit, you'll go to Toronto. They have, different rooms. You'll see different styles and stuff. But generally, obviously New York and LA is just bigger, population-wise, comedy scene-wise, is just a larger scale. More people, you're going to see more shows, more clubs.
Do you feel like it's more of a thing? I've been to LA a few times, and I feel like it's more of a thing there in the States, I think, where people think of it as a night out, whereas here, I think in Toronto, you really have to sell people on the idea and drag people to come out. I feel like it's up there with just bowling or dinner and a movie in the States. Do you feel that?
I think, I think just LA, both places, people are always, New York people are going out. You got tourism and stuff. So a lot of people are I don't know specifically, but just being there, I'll hear people from out of, especially in New York, people are coming from other places to check out the Cellar or check out other comedy clubs. So there's a big tourism component to those places. Toronto as well. I think Toronto's getting better. I think a lot of people, like, it's not as hard to get people out to shows with clubs like the Comedy Bar, Absolute, Yucks, the Corner. I think people are more excited about that city's comedy than it has been, I believe.
Cool. Yeah, no, I think we got some great promoters working in this city too, really trying to convince the top names that this is a city worth seeing, worth coming to.
Yeah, it's grown. Like, I wouldn't, like, I think it's grown. I've noticed it with, like, over time that it's, like, it isn't such a drag to get people out.
Cool. So congrats on your Juno nomination for Good Friend, Bad Grammar. Was this a surprise or something you worked towards, or what?
Well, we just worked towards getting, like, originally it's a video, like it's shot like as a special.
That's the Drake, right?
The original goal. Yeah, so that was the original goal. We wanted to produce a dope I did personally. I wanted just to put out a dope ass album, a dope ass video special. Sorry. So right. I worked with Millen and Morgan, Millen at Macau Studios, and the people everyone that worked with us filming it was amazing. So the goal was just to make the dopest shit out, the funniest shit out, the shit that, I wanted everyone to fuck with. And then the Juno thing was it was amazing. It was, like, you know what I mean? Like, to have that was, I didn't really expect that.
Right. And so what was the process of making it an album? Because this recorded in May of 2016. The album didn't drop for 2 years after that. So what happened in between to decide to put it out as an album?
Well, I think we just the album just came eventually. Like, we put it out. It took 2 years to put the video out, in a sense that we were trying to shop it around, pitch it, and editing and getting it to the right place we wanted to. It took about 2 years. And then we put it out as a video. And then followed, we were like, let's put it out as an album. And then the artwork was done by Bronson, so we spent time on that, getting that original cover, and then there's another cover that we have too. So it was within those 2 years there was editing, as you know, just to get it to the right place that we all wanted it to get. And the editor is amazing, and he did a terrific job. And then from there we started to, we had a goal, and we had specific places we wanted to target. And then the album, we knew eventually we put out as an album, but the main focus was video.
Mm-hmm. Is it all taken from just one performance?
There was 2 shows that night.
Okay, cool.
And we kept everything in. I kept, like, if you watch the video or listen to the album, there was a bottle that dropped. There was cameramen talking. I kept all that shit in. Yeah,
it sounds very seamless.
I want it to be as authentic as possible.
Do you feel like you got to do everything exactly how you wanted to do it?
Oh, yeah, they were dope. Sorry for my language, but they were dope. I was going to say fuck. They were just dope in a sense. Sorry, they let me do what that was the whole goal. We wanted to shoot something where it could capture my voice and my style and everything, that, with no restrictions. That was the whole goal, and luckily we were able to do that. They were just very like, yo man, do whatever you want. We can follow you with the camera. So if you want to get off the stage, that's fine. So it was a very fun experience that I'll never forget.
So when you go to taking something, a video where you're sort of off the chain, doing everything you want to do the way you want to do it, when you get to the point of making an album, do you have to think about cutting bits that are physical or something? Do you think about that process, about will this be accessible for the ears?
No, I didn't really think in a sense like that. When I originally just performed, I just was like, I'm just going to give the best performance. So whatever happens after that happens. And if we have to, if it doesn't land in that sense, then I guess it is what it is. But I didn't want to think like that prior to filming it.
Yeah, fair enough. That sort of takes the it makes it disingenuous, I guess, if you're already thinking bad about cutting out what doesn't work, right? That's not an honest thing. Do you feel like comedy is a place for honest performance and truth? More different than other ways you perform?
Look, what do you mean? Like it's a better, like we should be more honest in our platform?
Well, I just wonder, it's one of the few platforms that we have where it's spoken word and it's unedited for a performance for people, and I feel people believe a lot of the things that are said in there in a comedy set, and they sort of treat it like it's the truth, but said in a funny way. And of course, it depends on the type of comedian you are. Some people are political and are speaking truth to power, and some people are more observational. But some things that I'm curious about is it seems that comedians don't want to admit maybe that not every story is true, because I know comedians connect very much with audience through stories, but a lot of it is made up. And do you think that, there's a bit of truth in some of it and some of it's made up just to craft a good story? Do you think it's important that the audience believes everything, that we don't sort of pull back the curtain and let them know it's not all real, like a magic trick?
Oh, yeah. You know what, man? I think, I don't, I personally do what you got to do up there. That's, it's none of my, if this is what you feel that your truth is, this is what you want to rock with, that's you. I'm not going to sit here and tell you what to do or what not to, you know what I'm saying? To pull the curtain back or not, that's not, it's your art. This is what the hell you want to do. Right. This is your dream. It's for the audience that, you could, they could take it as how they want to take it, I guess. That's how, because it's a personal, intimate thing for the performer. And that's the relationship between the performer and that particular audience that I feel like is that's not for me. And it's the same way of I have stories that are very, very true and stuff like that. There's obviously little things that you play with. Right. It's crazy. Sometimes when it's too true, it may not be funny. Right. You might think about something that you could say that's a better tag on the end of the story or something. So you write that in. So it's just it's all I think it's an intimate performance between you and the crowd that night or that wherever it's at. I like when it's go ahead. Go ahead. Oh, go ahead. I do like when it's on. I do enjoy when it's honest. But I also enjoy silly shit. Do you know what I mean? I'm not gonna I'm not gonna be snobby and be like, man, I only want the real shit. Right. I really enjoy silly shit. So yeah. If I saw both of your shows at the Drake that night, how different would they be? They were different. In a sense that, they were delivered, it wasn't delivered the same. They were different. It was because I went off what the crowd was like. Right. You know what I'm saying? So it was that's how I performed it. I was you know what I mean? I'm not going to be as rigid. Me personally. I didn't want to do that. I was just I'm going to go up and however I feel in that moment and however that joke feels in that moment and how the audience feels. So I kept it I tried to keep it as organic as I could. Is that what you normally do? Is that how you normally perform? Yeah, I like doing it that way, man. I like it in a sense that if I feel something that night, I'm not going to ignore it just to get the joke off. Right. You know what I mean? I've just been. That's how I've been when I've been coming up. That's what I enjoyed. I was I enjoyed organic moments. I like being in the room and stuff like that. That's the type of stuff that would entertain myself. And that's cool, yeah. So, yeah. I've seen people thrown by that, and you feel bad for them. Well, I spent a lot of years practicing. It wasn't I was the first, you know what I mean? I was bombing. They were staring at me for a long time. What the fuck is this dude trying to tell me right now? So it was a thing that I worked on for a long time to where I could feel comfortable and risk going into whatever was happening for 10, 15 minutes per se. Right. And then just bouncing back. So it's all being in the gym technically. Yeah. Cool.
Do you remember? I mean, you started at a young age in Windsor and Detroit. Do you remember your first introduction to comedy? What grabbed you about it?
I think I saw Richard Pryor. I think it was with my mom. It was not live, like obviously, but like on TV, he did the bit about the heroin and the wino, like he was playing characters about. And then my uncle Brian, my aunt married. We're Lebanese. She married a Canadian dude. He's still in the family. He would show me Eddie Murphy. He showed me Delirious, and he showed me Andrew Dice Clay, and then Pryor. So I would be at his house with my cousins and my sister and family, and then he would show it.
Wow.
And I was introduced that way. And to be honest, go ahead.
No, please.
Oh, we watched, like, me and my sister watched, like, Soul Train and, like, award shows, and then also late night shows. That was, like, I don't know what drew us to that, but we would watch that heavy. I think even before I watched stand-up.
So you're seeing a lot of really tight, refined bits then and things like that.
To be honest, I wanted to be an entertainer first. Like, I didn't know anything really until, like, 14, I think, about comedy. Like, I just wanted to entertain. Like, that's, like, what amused me. So then...
like,
then
as a host or something? Or what kind of entertainer?
Anything like an actor. I think actor, like, I just didn't grasp it. I just wanted to be like the things I saw on TV. Like, I would make my mom laugh by making fun of my aunt, her sister. So, like, I just didn't, there was certain... I just didn't have the knowledge of stand-up, I guess, until, like, an older age.
So are you one of these people who sort of has a soft spot for, like, the golden age of television? Do you enjoy the history of TV and performing and stuff like that?
Well, I just, like, as a kid, I watched all, like, like Martin, the TV show Martin, the Wayans Brothers, Home Improvement, Roseanne. I'm trying to think of what else. Family Matters, Three's Company, all like the classics like that. Like I was inundated by watching that. One of my Full House, dude, TGF Fridays, all that shit was so dope. Hanging with Mr. Cooper, LL Cool J sitcom, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I just wanted to personally just do stand up, find my voice, and get into that, like get into acting like that. Like as I'm being a teen, I was like, if I could just grow, like do stand up and then parlay that into getting on a TV show like I saw when I was a kid.
Yeah, when you're a kid, it just seems like the best job in the world, right? Just to make people laugh and be presented at something. So were you listening to any albums at this time? Were you a comedy album fan?
Like to get ready for it or just in general?
Just in general.
I listen to Kevin Hart's Seriously Funny is one of my favorite. I love that album. Hannibal Buress' album. And then I just listened to my buddy Zoltan's album that came out. I'm trying to think at the time. I think I watched the rap battle to get hyped for it. Yeah, that was my thing. That and what?
Have you done any of that rap battles?
I will not. I did it once a long time ago. Comedic rap battle. It was awful. Yeah. I will never do that to anybody in a building. I cannot rap. I just enjoy all of that aspect of music. I will not. There's no Donald Glover in me at all.
Fair enough. Speaking of music, your album ends with Somewhere by BBRC. Are you close with those guys? What made you choose that song?
Oh, BBRC?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, man, Bronson. Yeah, Bronson's the guy. He's a homie, man. He's the one that did the album cover.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, he did the one we kind of like influenced by the Source magazine, if you could tell. Like that was the the Source. He made it like a magazine, and then we took he's so dope. He took the Good Kid, Mad City cover and he flipped it. I have a family photo as a child. And we just did the same cover, and then blacked out our eyes. And that was his idea. He was there with me for all the art, like promoting and all that stuff, all his designs. He's super, super good at that. And then DJ Dopey I know as well from when I worked at MTV Live. And then we just stayed home, homies. And then we support. Yeah, I support them, and I know them.
Awesome.
Bronson and Dopey the most.
Cool. And so I knew that song, but I don't know what starts the song. It's got this great song that really pumps people up, and it segues into the intro and then to you, and it's a really great, vibrant way to start the album. Well, what is it?
Fuck, I knew the name, bro. I gotta ask my agent. He's the one that found it. And I
that one, if you
didn't remember it,
if you Shazam that, your album comes up. Shazam doesn't know what that song is, so I wondered if it was something original. Okay, no worries.
I can find it for you.
All right, yeah, we'll figure it out later and put it in the notes with the interview along with the artwork.
For sure.
But yeah, that was that your decision to start with music like that? I mean, of course, in the live venue, it makes sense to do that, but it sounds great on the album. Was that a long process to figure out what you wanted, or if you wanted to do it?
I reached out to like some people, and then I kicked it. Then I knew Braun, and then we vibed. Because I had their albums, so we vibed, and then he came up with some, and he sent it to me, and I was just like, I'm into that. So it was like a process, like I'm searching and looking, and talking to people and feeling it out. The night we had, I played rap music in the back, like it was very, very, I wanted that vibe that night, like a hip hop, rap type vibe all night.
Cool.
I just think for me it helps, gets me in the mood.
Cool. There's some stuff on there that I feel like not everybody could do. You do jokes about different races and you do accents and things like that. Do you find that's dangerous? Do you ever feel yourself wondering if you're crossing a line?
Well, I think the accents I did were my dad, Right. I used to not do, see, this is the thing. I used to not do my dad's accent when I started. And then I did it, and then people, mostly like white comics, would be like, it's hacky.
Right.
They were always like, for some odd reason. And then the manager at the Yuck Yucks at the time in Windsor was like, what the fuck are you talking about? He goes, is that how your dad sounds? I go, yeah. And then he goes, who gives a shit? I remember I was like, oh, yeah, you're right. It's just, what's funny to me about that is, like, when people say that it's hacky, it's like, yo, man, my dad still has that accent.
Right.
Like, that accent is not, like, for entertainment. Like, he still has to go to the bank and has to go around the town, probably getting made fun of behind his back with that accent. So it's not hacky. It's, like, real life. That's what's so funny to me is, like, you think I'm just using it as, like I'm giggling with my dad that we have an inside joke of how we're making money off the cover. Like, that's how he really talks, dude.
Right. Yeah, it's funny. Like, there's this weird...
It's weird.
Yeah. It's like a reverse racism. Like, people are expecting everyone to have the same voice now, but that's oppressive in its own way. I mean, you're trying to kill these stories.
I'm not trying to make a racial, like, or going at white people. It's just funny to me.
Right.
I'm like, it's not hacked. Like, it's just, that's how he lives. It's like he has his own dealings with that emotionally. Like, you think he's pumped when he sees that fucking accent maybe being talked about. Like, this is his everyday life that he has sometimes struggles with. So so when I do it, when it's about my family, it means a lot to me because I'm just expressing how he is. In a loving way. I'm not doing it to like mock him by any means. And then I think the other accent I do is the Persian one, but I don't know. I wasn't trying to offend Persians. It was about a guy I worked with.
Right.
At a bookstore. So I was just trying to relay that moment to people. And I can't remember the other accents. If I offended anyone with any other accents.
Do you feel differently? Do you feel like different audiences, depending on like how they're made up, appreciate your comedy differently or gravitate to different parts of your comedy differently?
Yeah, if you grew up like in a Middle Eastern household, like I did, or not like exactly like I did, I think it's naturally gonna connect with you more because you could be like, oh, my mom and dad did that. Or whatever you went through. And that's always beautiful. I love that moment because we could all share it together. And then it doesn't even have to be necessarily Middle Eastern. Like if you grew up in, I've had Irish people, Scottish people tell me, it's just, I guess the way I was raised, they might have been raised the same way or their parents had the same quirks. and that's always great.
It's powerful, right? That's the interesting thing about comedy and storytelling is it can bridge gaps in strange ways, and people can realize, we do have more similarities than maybe we thought we did.
Exactly, dude. And even like the story about going into the hip hop boutique, like people would be like, dude, I go to those places, and it was like kind of, I thought it was not niche, but like, it's just like a very obscure thing. And then people would be like, dude, I go to this shop and they do the same thing to me. So that's like funny in that aspect of how it relates there.
Right. Oh, yeah, it's interesting to think how you might start a story saying, this is how we're singled out through racism, but then you realize that it's also a bonding experience because you're not alone in that.
Yeah.
It's kind of a strange place to find kinship with people. But
yeah, and dope at the same time.
Yeah, right. So I also know you've got this show coming up on Hulu, Rami.
Yeah, they just announced. Yeah.
Yeah, can you tell me a little bit about it and what you're doing on it?
I play one of the friends on the show of his. It was a fun experience filming, and I'm excited for it. And not because I'm in it. It could sound biased, but it's dope, man. I'm excited for people to see it and watch it. I think it was done super well, and it's funny, and it's got like meaning to it. It's good. It's great, man.
Great. How did you get involved?
I have known Rami for years through stand-up, and like we were like friends. We're friends. Cool. I had auditioned. I remember 2 year ago, I think. I don't know why my memory is not that good right now, but I auditioned, and then we did the pilot, or I was in the pilot, and then when I got picked up, we filmed in the fall.
Amazing.
In New York, just this past fall, yeah.
That's huge. That's great, man. One last question. What is the story behind the 1, 2, 3 baka chicken noise at the end of the album?
Wait, what the? Oh, like the production?
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, it's like a little sting. Yeah, is that your little, your production company like logo thing?
Dude, I remember I saw it and I was like, well, I don't know what I thought it was a glitch or something. I was like, what? I didn't even ask. I can ask Morgan. I can ask them. I didn't. So
that's not you.
When you no. That's the production. They took care of that.
Okay, fair enough. And are you getting play with this album? What's it like for is XM playing it, stuff like that? Serious? Of course. XM is a big in Canada is a huge support. Man, I owe them a lot. I swear, because that's how much they support. Awesome.
Ben Miner is like super dope, man. He is he's supportive of all the comedians, man. He's eager to help, and he wants people to put their albums out. So I shout out to Ben Miner and everyone at XM. It's on Apple, iTunes, Vimeo. It's on my website, like the video of it. And I stand by it.
Awesome.
Instead of like a politician.
No, man, it's great.
I stand by it.
we feel the love, man. Well, listen, thanks so much for talking to me, Dave.
Thank you, man.
Next time you're in Toronto, maybe we'll sit down and we'll listen to Kevin Hart or Hannibal, and we'll talk about an album for a while. But until then, awesome. Until then, good luck at the Junos, and
thank you very much, man.
Yeah, man. We're looking forward to seeing what comes next.
Same here, man. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Cheers.
My thanks to Dave Merheje. Make sure you subscribe to Comedy Album Book Club to listen to the other interviews and episodes. We have more interviews this week with Pat Thornton, May Scaloni, and Deborah DiGiovanni. And our next album episode will feature our guests Grace Smith and Ryan Hughes. We'll be discussing Simply the Beth by Beth Stilling. Until then, I'm Jason DeLine. Thanks for listening to Comedy Album Book Club.
You know how to book flights and hotels. All you're missing is a tool to plan the travel experiences you'll have once you arrive. That's why you need Viator. Book guided tours, excursions, and more in one place. There are over 300,000 travel experiences to choose from, so you can find something for everyone. And Viator offers free cancellation and 24/7 customer support for worry-free travel. Download the Viator app now and use code Viator10 for 10% off your first booking in the app. Find travel experiences for you. Do more with Viator.
Swimsuit? Check. Sunscreen? Check. Phone charger? Check. Don't forget to pack the 5-Hour Energy. It fits great in a pocket or carry-on, and the alert feeling will help you arrive ready for anything. Now get 20% off when you use code 5HETRAVEL at 5hourenergy.com. Expires April 30th. One-time use only. Not valid with other discounts. Remember, visit 5hourenergy.com and use code 5HETRAVEL to save 20%.